I'm here with the great Tomi. By the way, you're, I think, the last guy from Amorphis that I have on my channel. I've talked to everybody, but I think I
Okay.
saved the best for last.
Yeah. Okay. I
I saved,
agree.
I saved the best for last. We're going to be
Yeah.
talking about Tales from a Thousand Lakes, the live album that comes out July 12 on RPM. Welcome. Thank you very much for taking the time. So let's get right into it. This album, would Amorphis today be what Amorphis is without this record?
Yeah, that's a good question. Probably not. Uh, Maybe not, because I think that was, to us, it was kind of like breakthrough album. In the sense of course, that was like the first success as if you can say that, and also it defined like our style some way, like the using folkish melodies and clean and crawling vocals and things like this, which are still in Amorphis this day. So I think it was very important album to us, and of course that gave us like trust that this can really like go somewhere, because I remember after the first album we were thinking that nothing is happening, and we just touring Finland, like few gigs there and there, and we did want some more, and then we kind of take like risk and taking like every influence we wanted, because we were digging it. So yeah, yeah, I think that's like quite a milestone for us.
Do you remember the recording process of this record? Do you remember how it was, the details of that moment of recording a record like this?
Oh yeah, I remember it quite well. Like I was just thinking that 30 years, of course, there's a lot of things happened in 30 years, but still I can remember it like it was like a few months ago or yesterday even. So I remember it very well, and it was actually quite fast, uh, fast studio session, as that time it was normal. Like I think all the recordings and mixing was done in 10 days or something like that in Sweden. So we didn't like have too much time to produce anything. It was just we went to studio and played, and that was it.
When you hear now these songs, you guys recorded this live album. When you hear Tomi sing these songs, how is it for you? Haven't been there originally, and now hearing him singing, taking his own take on it. How does that feel to you?
Well, it sounds much better. Well, that's yeah, that's true. I think his style is more energetic than I. Mine crawlings was more like whispering comparing to Tommy's. So and of course we have played those songs live like during the years more or less. So of course the songs have like kind of evolved to these bands songs as well, like with the Tommy in a singer. So I can't even imagine that I would have to do it now again, because my throat would be in flame. So
At least you're honest with yourself. You're like, no, I'm totally fine just playing guitar.
well, yeah, that's what I wanted. It was my decision in the first place to quit singing. Like
Did, did you
yeah,
ever feel comfortable in that role at all?
mm, mm, no, no. Of course, sometimes on live shows, and it was, of course, if you have the like adrenaline and things, it was like okay. But I was thinking it like long time that I would prefer to play guitar, not being the front guy or anything like that. And I felt like I was accidentally singer, because nobody else could do the crawling. So I was forced, not forced, but I started to doing it. And when things went bigger, I was starting to think that I'm not like singer. I can like really sing, and we need to have the so more structure to the songs, and more like going forward with the songs. We need like some clean vocals as well to be like a little bit wider arrangements and stuff. So I knew that I'm not gonna be the singer. I don't want to be a singer too long. So I've always been more like guitar playing, thinking of myself. So
How was recording this live album? I mean, it's not the first one that you guys recorded at Tavastia. So how was the experience recording this one?
it was quite different because that was on COVID time. So there's no audience at all. So that was strange. But at the same time, we did like a couple of stream shows, like every bands were doing at the time, and so we tried to pretend that it's new normal for a while, but of course it's not. You're missing the interaction between the audience, and it's not like a live. But of course that live playing, and I think this is better way to do it than going to studio and remake the new arrangements of those songs, or because you never capture the original album's feeling. I guess it's if we are going to studio remake those, it's not the same. Like so, but with this kind of style, like playing it live, I think that's okay to do it.
You guys had to play the record from start to finish. So there was probably a few songs on that performance that you hadn't played live in a long time. Is there a song that stands out in your mind as the one that took you a little bit longer to relearn?
I was thinking that beforehand. Uh, just I remember when we before rehearsings, but I think every song came like from muscle memory somehow. Like I was thinking that I have to check it, and I was trying those like at home, but soon I was like realizing that I don't have to practice. It's there. So
Wow, after all these years, after 30 years, you still
yeah, and
have.
still like sometimes I hear some bonus song somewhere from like later on, like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and I can't even remember that I've been playing in that song or we have recorded that song. It's like I'm hearing it first time, but not with this album. I think it's very much like somewhere there deep.
It had a long-lasting impact, not just on the fans, but obviously on you guys as well.
Mm.
Is there a favorite song from this album that you love to play live, and doing this live album really reminded you of how much fun it was to play that song?
Well, yeah, there's few songs like because they have like so strange arranging, like Magic and Mayhem, and like what the hell is happening in the middle part? It's like some Russian disco suddenly. Like what? But I think it was the. It's funny. You would never do that these days anymore. But at the time, it was like maybe fun or something. I cannot remember. Maybe it was fun and we liked it because maybe it was like prodigy thing or something to us. I don't know. But yeah, songs like that with strange structures and strange arrangements, like Castaway as well. Like most of those songs, they don't have this normal shape, like verse, pre-chorus, chorus, C part or something like that. It's just some like strange uh, collection of riffs, and then you have a vocals on it. So they are not like made of like radio songs. That's for sure.
They have more of a linear flow to
Mm.
them, not that ABC
Yeah.
format. Uh, I know you said that this is to you the best way to honor the record, to do this live album versus go back in the studio and redo it. But if you had a time machine and you could go back to the time that you recorded this record, would there be anything that you would change at that point?
Um, well, if you're thinking it that way, you can hear it. Of course, there's a lot of like mistakes, and the sounds are from early 90s. But I still think that it's a like landmark, and it should be like that. And uh, I wouldn't do anything differently because we did it. The next album we did something differently because of that album was like that. So we learned every time like something by doing mistakes you learn, and so maybe next time we did it like different way. So in that way I wouldn't change anything, but of course like after a few years of that album came out, of course, we had a lot of like things like why didn't we were better players or didn't put a little bit more time to mixing and things like this. But I don't think it's like necessary to think of those kind of things.
How do you and the band manage the legacy that you guys have created without allowing that legacy to put so much weight and so much pressure on your shoulders when the time comes for you to guys create a new record?
Well, I think Esa and Sander, they are very like productive. They always have like 10 songs done like same time than I've done like one or two or something, because I get stuck to small details maybe too much, but that's the way I want to do. But so if I would be the only one who's writing music, then that would be like really big pressure to me because I'm so slow at it. But I don't think normally we just book the studio date because we need some deadline, and then we know it's gonna happen. And I think everyone is right now maybe doing the new music, new songs. So if we have a deadline, then it will be happened. And normally we have like 25, almost 30 songs even when and then we start to choose like 15, which we start to rehearse, and so it's never been like the issue that we don't have enough songs. It's just like what kind of songs we will pick to the album which work best like together.
You guys always had like a diverse sound and diverse approach. I mean, this record, like you said, the Russian stuff and all of that, you're not afraid of taking risks. You're not afraid of taking gambles. Is there anything that would be brought to the table when you're putting a new record together that wouldn't feel right from the get-go, this is not Amorphis? Do you guys have a boundary?
It depends. I think it depends how to arrange things. I mean, I remember like in Tail session, if we think about that, like Castaway riff, that I remember that we were laughing and somebody, I think Oppu told us, because I think Esa and I we did have that song, and he was like, "What's this?" and it's too funny and things like this. But when you start jamming together and everybody is bringing their own ideas to it and own like style, and then it becoming to have an amorphous shape, it doesn't sound like the original necessary anymore. So it's hard to say. Maybe if it's like too happy melody or something like this, then maybe it's too much. But I think all the songs we have, it's a minor chord starters. Like I mean, it's like melancholy is the thing more than happy joy.
Yeah, basically what you're saying is if the song is about beer and it sounds like Orpaclani, you guys are not doing it.
Probably not. But it's not always. It's actually it's not the melody. I was just thinking it's more like how to do it. If somebody is having an idea and it sounds like a power metal or pump or whatever, then you can say like, oh, okay, this is too much. But then if we restart from the basic melody, then it can be like good. Yeah. You never know. Sometimes when you start to compose new song, it can sound like it's some slagger or some strange thing. But when you start to having amorphous elements like surround it, it starts to sound like amorphous. So.
We started the conversation by talking about how much this record shaped Amorphis now. I think there's another record that's shaped Amorphis, but maybe we're not going to really know about how much it has shaped Amorphis until 30 years from now, and that's Queen of Time. Do you think 30 years from now we will be sitting here having the same conversation about how much did that record change who Amorphis is?
Let me think. I will be 81. Probably not, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, but also same time, I think like Eclipse is very important because Tomi joined the band at that time, and I think Skyforger was kind of milestone as well, and yeah, Queen of Time. Yeah, that's probably one of the strongest albums we have. So I don't know. Maybe next one is even stronger, but then I would make 84 or something.
The funny thing about you guys is that, you know, I don't think there's a bar, right? Because normally you say, you know, like a band has raised the bar with the latest record. I don't think for you guys there's a bar, because every album is so unique and every album is so strong on its own. Like you said, we could be having this conversation almost about every single record in your discography for one reason or another.
Well, I hope so, because I think every time we are going to studio, we are trying to do still like the best album, and not like just put out something to get to the tour and playing old stuff, like some bands are doing maybe. That's okay, but in our case, I think we are still. That's like very important to us, like still trying to make the best album. You never know if it succeed, but that's what we are heading to.
And speaking of making an album to go on tour, you guys announced a North American tour with Dark Tranquility in the fall. You're going to be playing at Prague Power as well. How much of this celebration of this milestone album is going to impact what you guys are going to be playing during that North American tour run?
Well, I told this like in some earlier interview as well, but that's probably only thing what we are arguing inside the band is the set list. So we just started this discussion like a couple of weeks ago, like how much we should add the tail stuff there. So now the situation is like 50-50, so I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'd like to have a few more maybe Tails songs for this year's set list, and I think other guys are like happy with that as well. But it's always you have to drop something, and with this much of albums and discography that we have, it's not easy. You don't want to drop any songs from the set list, but same time you want always have some more. So that's not easy. But I hope there will be few songs at least.
Are you a fan of doing a tour where you play a record, for example, the Tales album from start to finish as like an overall tour package? Like we're going out on the road, we're playing the record, it's the anniversary. Are you a fan of that approach or no?
Not that much, because I think you build normally the set list song order differently than album song order. It's like different kind of a dramatic curve or whatever. So sometimes it feels strange that you have like these ups and downs in like wrong parts of the set list that way. But of course, if audience knows that it's the whole album from start to end, then it's maybe they can expect it, so it's okay. But I don't like it too much. Like I would like to like a little bit change the order of the songs anyway, but I know it's not like maybe what people want to hear.
And it's not the first time you guys come to North America with Dark Tranquility. I saw you guys on another tour run with them in Omnium Gatherum and Moonspell more than a few years ago. So you guys have partnered up with Dark Tranquility before. What do you look at the bands that you're going on tours with? Is that an important element of the overall Amorphis live package? Who partners up with you?
Well, they are good friends of ours, and it's been like fun with them on tour in US, and I guess we did some European tour as well. So after that, we've been like every time we visit, seeing the guys, we've been like talking about like it could be fun to like do it again, and of course we have different agents, so then we just push the agent together and fix something. And this was like the idea. I think this idea came from like both bands. Like we personally wanted to tour with them, and they wanted to tour with us, and so why not? I think it's good package, and Dark Tranquility will have a new album out at the time, and I think bands work very good together, like musically as well. So yeah, it's not always easy to book. It's easier to book like your own headline tour and then some supports, but when you are doing it like co-headlining tour, you have to have like bands which are like quite same level and everything works. And of course, that both of the bands have a members that are ready to make compromises and make it like as teamwork, and that's how it normally is with the bands we have been touring with.
One last question for you on the topic of this North American tour. Do you have a favorite city to play in North America that, for whatever reason, you just really enjoy playing in the venue or in the city?
Well, yeah, of course, there is, because of sometimes you have to like fill the dates because it's very expensive to have a day offs there. So obviously you have some Tuesday gigs in some middle of nowhere, but those are not my favorites. But I think the big cities have been like good to us always. Like I like New York, Los Angeles, Canada, Montreal, Toronto, Quebec. Always like it's always nice to like visit the city as well, like not just being in some like in some hilly hood.
In the
Whereas
middle of
not,
nowhere.
well, sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere, you don't know what to do, like just take the Netflix and but yeah, but it's big cities has been good to us like always. So
Hey,
yeah,
and I don't know if you're a hockey fan or not, but when you come to Toronto, you can always go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's a lot of fun.
yeah, sure.
Last year when Insomnium was in town, Nilo messaged me asking me, what can we do for fun before the show? And I said, Hockey Hall of Fame. And they're like, wow, never been there. So I took the whole gang to the Hockey Hall of Fame. We had a great time there. A bunch of Finns and a Canadian, but hockey
Yeah,
is just the natural thing.
yeah,
So we had a great time. So when you come to Toronto, if you want to go check it out, let me know. I'm more than happy to take you there.
yeah, sure, yeah, we will. I'm pretty sure if we
Sounds,
have a
sounds
time, we will.
Yeah. There's a lot of Finns in the Hockey Hall of Fame, so there's a lot to check out there. And Tommy. Thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate talking to you about this record, about this live album coming out July 12th on RPM. And I'll see you in the fall in North America. I'll see you in Toronto.
Great, thank you very much.
Take care,
And
man.
have a nice summer. Hey,
All the
take
best.
care. You too. Bye.